So this is a good thing to drag because it's super light. It makes noise. It's something. And then you can go on to something that is actually has some weight to it. And for this, you absolutely want to have a rope on them. Another prerequisite to this is that you can throw the rope all the way around them. This one's kind of short, but like I should be able to throw the rope around her, and it can go all the way around her butt, right? It can go here, and I can pull it. She doesn't react. She just turns around with it. See how she's not reacting? Her hind end's not reacting to it. She's okay with it. That's good. This is way too short. You want a longer rope when you actually train that, but you could see she's okay with it. You also want them to lunge really, really well, and she does. She knows how to lunge really, really well. You want to make sure they're okay with the ropes on the ground. You see how I can bring this rope around, and she's okay? Something else you can practice doing is throwing a rope over them. That didn't work. Throwing a rope over them and it landing on the other side and then bringing it up. They should be okay with that. So she's okay with that. Perfect. So we're going to loop this around so that it's around the horn and it's long enough to be back behind them. Okay? I mean, if it hits their feet, it's not the end of the world. It's a light little buoy thingy. And it's attached with like a hay string, so if we have to cut it, if something happens, we could cut it. But then it's loose. I don't wrap it around the horn. It's just one loop so that I can have some play. It means I can make it shorter if I want, or I can make it looser and it can drag a little bit out. But you want to start with it far enough behind them that they can see it. But I'm like, what? Why? Oh my God. So I'm going to ask her to walk, and she's going to be dragging this, and she's going to notice it right here. And that's why I like to do it on the circle, so they can see it. I want them to see it. I don't want to sneak up on them and teach them to drag something, and it's behind them, and they never actually see it. I want them to see it and be okay with it being back there and making that noise. And her response is excellent. Like, this is what I would want. I know that she's well prepared for it. So that's a good girl. So I'll have them do it like this. I'll have them trot with it so it makes more noise and it's really bumping around. And I can see, okay, are they actually truly okay? So she's not okay with it, right? So I'm going to just wait. If it goes on the other side, it's fine. We're just going to wait until she settles down. Because they should be able to, if they're okay with dragging something. This is why it's so important to have a long enough lead rope, which you do, and a long enough line here. And you tell, I'm not like really telling her to stop. I'm letting her sort it out right now. I'm making sure that buoy is far enough away so it doesn't get tangled up in her legs. And if it does, I can always let go and it'll just drop. She can just kind of sort it out. So they should be able to walk, trot, and canter, dragging this before I ever do it while I'm in the saddle. Because I want them to sort out all their reactions when I'm not up there. So the good thing about this is it's not hurting her. It's following her, but it's not going to hurt her. And it's touching her legs, and all those things are good. Normally, I just have it on the inside for a while, but that when it flew to the outside, it's okay. That was the next step, is you put it on the outside. So she's starting to relax again. So ho, I can ask her to ho, ho, good, ho, good girl. So it's like it's still following me. Yes, it's following you, and it's okay. Ho, good, good girl. Something else you can do, ho, is see you can move it. Like how I'm moving it like this. Oh, good. Because she shouldn't have to freak out about it, right? She should be okay with something touching her. That's perfect. Oh. This is why they need to be okay with ropes. Because in order for me to get it off, I need to be able to put a rope around her. And her be okay with it. So we'll just try that again. There you go. And I'll do this quite a few times before, until she's like, she doesn't care about it at all. And then I'll do it while I'm riding. And so I didn't ask her to trot, so we're just going to let her sort it out. I try to keep her on a small circle so it's a little harder for her if I can. And she's pulling on me a little bit. So you want to make sure your saddle's on good. This is when you want to have a back cinch on your saddle for this type of thing. But that's not heavy. But I will do something heavy, and when they feel that weight on them, they can move around a little bit. And so I notice I'm not saying like, whoa, or putting a lot of pressure on her. I'm letting her sort it out. Just asking her to stay on this circle. Letting her realize that there's nothing to be worried about here. And it could take a while, and that's okay. She's kind of a horse that, like, when she gets her blood up, it's hard for her to bring it back down. And I know that about her, and that's okay. There we go. I kind of just gave her a little, you're good girl. A little pull on that. Good girl. You can walk. Good. There. Now she's like, oh, okay. And that's really, really good. We'll do a couple more trot, walk transitions. Like, they don't need to necessarily know how to, I mean, she's already loping on it on her first day, but I don't need her to lope. The first day, there. So now I know she's much more relaxed, so she's soft in my hand. We'll just let her walk around for a little bit. There, now she's kind of ignoring that thing, which is great. So let me ask her to trot again. Good girl. And so hopefully she can just trot and stay in a trot and not get too worried about it. That was a little bit better of a reaction. So I'll probably do this every day with her for a while until she just like completely ignores it and she doesn't care anymore. And then that's when I'll do something like I'll drag a log or something that's a little heavier, got some weight to it, so it'll pull on the saddle. Good girl. Good girl. I'm going to give her a little more line here to make it a little easier for her to trot. There we go. You see how she's getting, like, it kind of, the rope smacked her leg and she kind of went forward a little bit. And like, same thing, I'll let her sort it out. If she feels the need to lope, she can lope. And see, that's why it's really good for, it's hitting her back feet. That's why I like these buoys. Because sometimes when you're dragging something, it might hit their back feet. And they really need to be able to keep their cool when that happens. There. They need to be able to, like, not be worried about it. And that's what's nice about these buoys is it's just a piece of, like, soft plastic. So if it hits their back feet, it doesn't hurt, but it can be a little surprising. See, it hit her. Good girl. That's what I would prefer, is if it hits it, they stop. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There. But you've got to not be worried when they have to sort it out. And you eventually get them to stop. So she's already been trained if things fall off her to stop. So she's already had that base of if she spooks or is worried that she should stop. But yeah, I mean, you can't control when you're dragging something or you're ponying a horse, you can't control it if things are going to hit their back legs. So you definitely want to prepare them for that and not have it happen the first time when you're on their back. Good girl. She's like, does that mean I get to stop? So I'm going to ask her to trot again and just see how she feels about that. Good girl. I like that she's slowing down and asking instead of reacting. She's like, are we still okay? Are we still okay? Yes, we're okay. I like that a lot better. I like the trot, slow down. I would prefer her to do that than to react and take off. Good girl. Who? Perfect. So now we're going to switch sides. And just depending on how long this takes, you're fine. I usually will do it on the opposite side. I mean, we kind of did it on her already because it flew on the other side. But usually the first day I'll only do this side. Or, I mean, just on the inside, not on the outside. And so since she's been struggling with this a little bit today, I'm not going to do the outside. I'll do this until she's okay, and then I'll do the outside. But some horses just don't care. So, and she's like, I really just wanted her to walk. Good girl. I like that she decided to stop there instead of completely lose it. That's really good. I'm going to ask her to trot. She really doesn't want it to. If you remember correct, that there was this hind leg that she was a little kicky with. So she's a little more feely on this hind leg. And I mean, I already know that about her from teaching her to pick up her back legs. This was the one that took the longest for me to pick up. Not that it was hard, but it was just like a little difference compared to the other ones. She's doing a little bit better. That's kind of hit her back leg a couple of times, the rope, and she hasn't really reacted other than she wanted to stop. So her transition from the other side to this side is really good. A lot of times it's almost like starting over when you switch sides, but she's doing really, really good. Ho. Really happy with that. Ho, 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 ho. Good girl. Good job, honey. Okay, so that was good for her first session. I'm going to do that for a couple of days so she doesn't care anymore, and then I'll switch it up and put it on the opposite side. So then when I'm lunging her, it's dragging on the outside, which is what happened accidentally on the first go around. So then she can, because when it does on the outside is it hits their legs and it hits their butt. And then they get used to dragging something like that. And then we'll do it with weighted. But I'll do that for a few days until she's just like, meh, I don't care about that thing anymore. So thanks for watching.